it's exciting and sort of inspiring to be like, oh, I really can do this. And I really have made the decision to change my life and to go after what I wanted, and I'm doing it.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good afternoon. Robert Rice, previously episode 1016 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast. It's been just 3 years, 1 month, 3 days, and 18 hours since we last had that conversation. That was then.
Gosh.
This is now. Robert, how are you doing today?
I'm well, thanks. It's a sunny morning here in Los Angeles. I'm glad to spend my first business day back with you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it feels great as well. You're not my final conversation. But for this segment, yeah, I have
Uh-huh.
one person that I'm speaking to later, only
Oh,
because it's him. But yeah, it feels good to reach to the end of, I think I had 16 conversations today.
oh my
And
gosh.
you're the cherry on the top, right?
Oh, why,
So
thank you.
yeah. So what's going on? What's new? Have you continued? There were two things that you were doing when we last spoke, right? You were doing the copywriting as well
Yep.
as acting on the
Yes.
side, or just doing the two things on the side, half and half. So what's up?
Yeah, so I mean, life is more or less the same as far as what I'm doing. So the copywriting has always been sort of the way I make my money while pursuing acting. I still work with a number of different clients, and that's how I, sort of fill in the gaps between acting work. So that, that's been great. On the acting front, a lot has changed in 3 years because I think when we last spoke, I had just moved here to Los Angeles
Right.
after living in New York City and sort of doing the theater thing for a while.
Musical
But yeah,
theater, yes.
yeah. So now I'm here. I've been doing commercials and I've actually been on television. So just like still like kind of building career stuff here, but little small bits everywhere. But it's been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of cool stuff happen. Um, Most recently, my husband and I we crowdfunded a show in June. We raised $30,000 to make a series, a genre project. So it's kind of in the vein of like a Supernatural, if you're familiar with that
Yeah,
show.
I am.
So, but with that's a little more inclusive. So it's not just white guys. But we created that, and yeah, we raised the money for it in June, and then we filmed it kind of at the end of the year, and so we're almost completely done with production on that. We have 2 more days of shooting left,
Wow.
and yeah, and then we're going to start submitting that to festivals, and we have a few meetings with some streaming services about possible distribution. So that's something that we've been working actively on as well. So it's been an interesting ride. I went from kind of not knowing anything about this world when I first spoke with you and moved here to really pushing forward and trying to make things happen.
And you can hear it in your voice. It's not that you didn't have the confidence, but I guess with knowledge does come confidence, doesn't it? Or experience, yeah? It grows, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny because like obviously I still like sometimes wake up and I'm like, what am I doing? I have no idea what I'm doing. And I feel that still frequently, but there is just because, I've sort of made the decision to kind of just take charge and just start doing things and stop kind of waiting for
Yeah.
opportunities, especially in like, I mean, I guess with any career you could say the same thing, but with the entertainment career, the old model of sort of having an agent and waiting for auditions and going that way like isn't really how it works anymore. Like that still is part of it, but you really have to be proactive and make your own stuff and create your own opportunities. So I sort of took what I kind of did with copywriting, and because like I was working as a waiter, and doing all that, but then I kind of didn't want to do that anymore. So I studied copywriting and sort of pursued freelance work and sort of built a business out of that. And so I sort of took that same principle and applied it to acting, and it's been fruitful. It's been a lot I just have a lot more confidence in myself. I mean, it's scary.
Of course it
I would
is.
be lying if I said it wasn't scary and challenging. And there are days where I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but like, but even still, like, it's just exciting to feel like I have some power in this and I can actually make something happen. And so, yeah, so that's probably what you're hearing.
Yeah, which is what you set out in our first conversation by saying, "Do not let fear dictate your life." And
Exactly.
it's one thing when you're saying, when you're looking at it, right, about to cross the bridge, looking at fear in its face, and you say, "All right, I'm not going to let fear dictate my life. I'm not going to get." But then when you get on the other side of fear, it really changes, right? Your
Oh
tone
my
of
gosh.
voice changes. Yeah, it feels as though that's what has happened to you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think it's definitely like I don't know how to label what it was that I felt before. It was a lot of uncertainty. It definitely fear, definitely just not feeling like I could do that. It's like, well, I've never done this before, and there's no way I can do this. Sure, other people can do it, but I can't.
Mm.
So, like there's always that kind of feeling, and it you know, uh, you just kind of have to move forward and take one step at a time and just kind of try things and fall on your face a lot, which I certainly have. We certainly have. So, it's not easy, but it's like when you do it, it feels good. And those little victories along the way really help fuel
Mm.
that trajectory. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm past fear because I still fear it, fear it, if you will, quite often. But I would say that like I've learned to just accept that feeling and sort of look at it and be like, okay, I feel this way, but I'm going to do
Mm.
it anyway.
Mm.
And usually that leads to good things.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's great. How far are you from Echo Park? When we were on that trip across the U.S., we met people at Echo Park. How far are you from there?
Not far at all.
Wow.
Yeah, no, not at all. I live in like the Hollywood area, the West Hollywood area.
Right.
So, I mean, depending on traffic.
Oh, yeah.
um,
I heard many people say that word, and I'm from the Caribbean, and I said, oh my, how bad could it be? And then I got stuck in traffic. LA traffic is a real thing, folks.
yeah, it definitely is. It's unique.
Yeah.
It's and also it's like you just need to go 8 miles, which is not very far,
Yeah.
but it can take upwards of 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the time of day. But yeah, so Echo Park, sometimes I can get there in like 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes it's 45 minutes to an hour. It depends
Mm.
on traffic.
That's
But yeah,
wonderful.
it's a great part of town.
Yeah, I heard some bad things happen there. So I had a family member that we stayed by, and her husband was saying, Echo Park, why are you meeting people down there? Because apparently there was something that happened. We just looked at a park that was close by for everyone. And
Mhm.
everyone that came, though, said, wow, it's really nice here. And
Yeah.
it was the color of the water and just laying out in the park. It was really a great experience being down there.
Yeah, yeah, it's a nice spot. I mean, LA is filled with wonderful locations. I mean, I lived on the East Coast of America for my whole life, so like in New
Hmm.
York and stuff. So I was used to kind of a particular, geographic style, I
Exactly.
guess.
The city.
Uh,
I mean,
yeah,
Central Park is the closest thing to park experience, right?
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm from upstate New York, so I was from more of like kind of suburbs and near the Adirondack Mountains and stuff. So like I was used to kind of that
Oh,
as well, and Four Seasons and all that. So a lot of people, joke that LA is like not that interesting because it's just sunny and nice all the time, which isn't totally true these days. But also, you can drive just within LA or even just a little bit out of LA, and you can get some wildly different types of areas to be in. So I mean, it's a really cool part of the country with so much to explore and so many beautiful spots for sure.
hmm. How do you feel though, Robert, looking back now, this being your reflection point of where you were and where you are today? How does it feel?
It's funny. when you sort of take the moment to look back, it feels great. Like, I mean, if you had, asked, I don't know, 21-year-old me who had just finished college and was unsure where my life was going, and you said, well, you're going to be married and you're going to be living in Los Angeles, you're going to be working in the entertainment industry and all this stuff, like, I don't think I would have believed it. And it's incredible to look back. Because, when you get stuck in the day-to-day of things, you can get really bogged down by like the challenges and sort of focusing on the challenges. But when you take a step back and like really look at where you've come in all that time, it is like, it's exciting, and sort of inspiring to be like, oh, I really can do this. And I really have made the decision to change my life and to go after what I wanted, and I'm doing it.
Yeah. As well for others that are listening, it's both inspirational and motivational to hear a story. Yeah? And, truth resonates somewhere between our ears in a way that it's challenging to falsify, right? No, it's really good. Hollywood is really, really good at it, right? But from what I'm hearing, it sounds as though, it's the truth that you're sharing, that you've not given up and you've reaped the benefits of that. Yes, there are challenges and there will continue to be challenges, but you wouldn't change it for anything. Right?
No. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, my friend. Well, thanks for passing by. I appreciate you tremendously. This is a pleasure I treasure. Before we leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
If you're curious about what it is, the project that we're working on, you can go to www.demonhuntr.com and you spell it DEMONHUNTR. Information on that. Otherwise, thank you for listening, and I'm excited to hear all of your other conversations.
I appreciate that. All right, champion. Well, again, thanks for passing by. Thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.